Now, on the topic of COVID, a good big old call from NZX-listed retirement village chain Radius Care. So they decided that 9 weeks of lockdown is more than enough. And they have decided that for the mental health, of course, of their residents, they want to allow visitors back despite Ministry of Health guidelines. So joining me now is the founder and chairman of Radius Residential Care, Brian Cree. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Andrew.
Right, so we've always been worried about people in rest homes and in care. They are the vulnerable. So why are you willing to take the chance, and how are you going to take that chance?
Well, look, I think it stems from the decision that COVID's not going to go away. You know, we're going to live with COVID now. It's here for a while, so we have to start living with it. If we're going to start living with it, from our point of view as a company, you know, we have the most vulnerable people, but they also are in the twilight years of their life. So we decided, look, we can't keep keeping these families apart. It's just not right. It's not why all of us are in aged care. So I guess it got to a point where I just decided, look, I'm in a position to do something about this, so I'm going to do it.
So what are the requirements? First of all, all your staff and also your residents 95% vaccinated? Is that right?
Yes, over 95%. So that was a big criteria, and you know, we have got a few rules around this. You know, we want people they have to be double vaccinated. They have to have proof of a negative test. Obviously, got to wear a mask. Got to follow our rules. So we're not being silly about it, but what we're saying is enough's enough. We have to start, you know, doing something to get these families back together, because it's terrible, mate. Honestly, some of the stories are just awful.
Yeah, of course. And if you are fully vaccinated, you deserve a reward, and that has been the call over the last week from many people. I mean, we've got 1 million people fully vaccinated in Auckland, but they're still locked down, and the call is, you know, what do we get for being good people? Can I just go back to your requirements of the visitors, though, because you need to get the negative test. Is that within 48 hours, or is that within a week, or what?
We're saying 5 days, 7 days at the most. And obviously we're going to be asking questions about making sure they don't have cold-type, you know, symptoms and things. But
here's the thing, Brian, we don't have a vax certificate at all yet. We've got the mycovid.com on a beta level, but it doesn't seem to work. So we don't have that. So are you going to ask for a declaration of your health?
We are.
Yeah, okay.
We are. And I think, you know, people... This is a big call, obviously, because if this could go wrong, and I mean, I'm going to look pretty stupid if it does. So we are going to make sure that we wrap some good rules around it. But I think we're all adults, you know. You should be able to go and visit your mum or your dad. It's just time that we stop this.
Yes, when I mentioned this when the story broke this afternoon, and I said, goodness me, from the common sense front of COVID, where we are actually responsible and grown up and not ruled by the crazies at the outliers at the edge of society telling us what we can and cannot do.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it's coming from. And I mean, you know, I got into aged care a long time ago to try and make a difference, and it's decisions like this that I think, you know, I can you know, do something positive for people.
Yeah. Well, good on you, mate. I can tell you there'll be a lot of people right now cheering for you and congratulating you. There's no way the Ministry of Health can come at you and say you've actually broken a health order and penalise you in any way, is there?
Look, the Ministry of Health do a great job, and this is not going against their decisions. I mean, they are making decisions for the whole country. This is simply one company saying, look, we think this is how it should operate. We're not breaking any rules by doing it, so we're just going to go ahead and let people in on a managed basis.
Good on you, founder and chairman of Radius Care, Brian Cree. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
The biggest artists in music and all their greatest hits. Gold, streaming everywhere on iHeartRadio. Just search Gold FM. Thought-provoking, opinionated, enlightening. The Leighton Smith Podcast.
What sort of future does New Zealand have? With Dr. Oliver Hartwich, we discuss the government's direction, interest rates, the COVID effect, education, debt, centralism. We also talk supply chains, Germany, and the Nobel Prize and its connection. All in podcast 133.
Subscribe now on iHeartRadio and get the latest episode now. The Leighton Smith Podcast, powered by News Talk ZB.